You're not stuck. You're repeating an old version of yourself. What if you're not actually stuck? What if the reason your life hasn't been moving forward is because you're trying to create a new future while still living from an old version of yourself? Old beliefs, old pain, emotional patterns, survival habits, and the stories we keep telling ourselves about who we are and what life is supposed to be. And until you become aware of that old version, you may keep repeating the same life in different forms. Different people, situations, and places. Same inner pattern. Today, I want to talk about why so many people feel stuck and why the real issue may not be laziness, weakness, or bad luck. It may be identity. The old version of you most people think change begins with doing more. More motivation, discipline, goals, and then more pressure. But real transformation often begins with seeing who you have been living as. Because every person carries an old version of themselves. I know I did. For decades, and if I'm honest, I'm still working through parts of it now. That old version learned how to survive and protect itself. It may have been hurt, rejected, disappointed, betrayed, ashamed, or afraid. And for a while, that version may have helped you get through something. The problem is that many people keep living from it long after the danger is past. They want a new life, but deep inside, their nervous system still expects the old one. They want love, yet part of them still expects abandonment. They want success, but somewhere underneath they still feel unworthy of it. They want peace and freedom, but the mind keeps reaching for conflict, fear, or the familiar chaos it already knows. Why patterns repeat. A pattern repeats when something inside you still believes it's familiar, safe, deserved, or unavoidable. That's why someone can leave one relationship and still find the same emotional dynamic in the next one. They can change jobs, move cities, start over on the outside, and still feel invisible, lonely, or trapped inside. It's because the pattern was never only outside of them. It was also inside the identity they were operating from. Again, this is not about blame. It's about awareness. Because once you see the pattern, you're no longer completely controlled by it. My own experience, I understand this because I've lived it in my own way, and I don't say that lightly. There was a time when addiction was part of my story, alcohol, drugs, pain, confusion, and that constant search for something outside of myself to quiet what was happening inside. I'm not saying that to make this video about me. I'm saying it because I know transformation is possible, and I've been sober for over 30 years now. One thing that journey taught me is this. You can't build a new life while secretly agreeing with the old story that broke you. At some point, you have to stop asking only, what happened to me? Begin asking, who did I become because of what happened to me? And is that still who I choose to be? The subconscious identity. The subconscious mind doesn't only repeat thoughts, it repeats identity. If deep down you identify as someone who always loses, you may unconsciously sabotage the very win you say you want. If you identify as someone who's always rejected, you may start reading rejection into situations that were never meant that way. And if you identify as someone who's not enough, you can keep chasing approval and still never feel full. That's why affirmations alone are not always enough. I should know I repeated them for decades and not much happened. You can say, I'm worthy. But if your nervous system, your choices, your relationships, and your daily habits still agree with the old identity, the old version keeps winning. Healing is not only about saying new words, it's about becoming someone who can actually live those words. How to begin changing the pattern if you want to stop repeating an old version of yourself. Start with awareness. Ask yourself, what situation keeps repeating in my life? What emotion do I keep returning to? What belief do I keep proving to myself? What version of me keeps making my decisions? What would the healed version of me choose differently? And don't try to change everything overnight. Just interrupt the old pattern, one choice at a time. When the old version wants to react, pause. When it wants to run, breathe. When the old version wants to choose chaos, choose peace. And when it says, this is just who I am, ask, or is this just who I learned to be? That question can open a door. Maybe you're not stuck. Maybe an old version of you is still trying to protect you in ways that no longer serve you. Maybe the life you want is not waiting for you to become perfect. It's waiting for you to stop agreeing with the old story. Because transformation begins when you stop asking, why am I stuck? And start asking, what part of me is still living in the past? You can heal, rebuild, and become someone new from the inside out. If this speaks to you, share your thoughts in the comments. What old pattern are you ready to stop feeding? And if you're searching for deeper answers, subscribe for more conversations about healing, consciousness, the subconscious mind, and creating a better life from the inside out. My best advice right now is this: find a channel that truly resonates with you. Then watch, read, listen, and take it in deeply. Immerse yourself in the message. If you stay open to it, I believe you'll begin to see things differently, and you may come out of it feeling like a brand new person. This just might be your channel. Cheers for now.